Judy Garland, the bright-eyed girl who once carried us all down the yellow brick road to Oz. Her voice was nothing short of magic, but behind that golden sound was a life marked by heartbreak and exploitation. She was a superstar by 16, yet her fame became the very thing that consumed her. The same Hollywood system that built her up also tore her apart, leaving behind a devastating legacy of control, abuse, and addiction that would define her life. The truth of what she endured was far more haunting than anyone could have imagined. Born Frances Gumm in 1922 in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, Judy's life in show business began almost as soon as she could walk. She performed alongside her sisters in vaudeville, her childhood swallowed by the stage. By 13, she had signed with MGM, a dream for any young performer, but for Judy it was a dream laced with poison. Studio head Louis B. Mayer cruelly called her too chubby and not pretty enough, setting the stage for years of insecurity and self-doubt. The studio worked her relentlessly, and to keep her going, they introduced her to pills, a decision that would shape the rest of her life. Then came 1939, the year The Wizard of Oz turned her into a global phenomenon. But while audiences saw a radiant Dorothy, behind the scenes, the reality was grim. MGM doctors kept her on a strict routine of stimulants to stay awake and sedatives to sleep. These so-called energy boosters and sleeping aids trapped her in a vicious cycle, one that began when she was barely a teenager. What the world saw as success was built on exhaustion, manipulation, and a growing dependency that she could never fully escape. Despite everything, Judy's talent was unstoppable. Her performances were electric, her charisma unmatched, yet her personal life was turbulent. She married director Vincent Minnelli in 1945, but even love couldn't shield her from the chaos within. By 1950, her health was failing, her emotions frayed, and MGM, the studio that had profited from her since childhood, cast her aside, labeling her unreliable. Refusing to be defeated, Judy mounted an extraordinary comeback in 1954 with A Star is Born, delivering one of the greatest performances of her career. But behind the applause, she continued to battle the addiction and trauma that Hollywood had planted deep within her. By the 1960s, Judy's decline played out under the cruel glare of the public eye. Her concerts were unpredictable, some breathtakingly brilliant, others heartbreakingly erratic. The pressure, the fatigue, and the dependency all took their toll. Her final shows in London revealed just how fragile she had become, a once vibrant star dimming under the weight of her past. The truth was devastating. The studio system that claimed to nurture her had instead been her supplier, feeding her dependents for years in exchange for profit. She was never allowed a normal life, her adulthood spent fighting a battle she never chose. On June 22, 1969, Judy Garland was found dead in her London home. She was just 47. The coroner ruled it an incautious self-overdosage of barbiturates, a tragic and final consequence of the control and addiction that had haunted her since childhood. 20,000 people attended her funeral in New York, a city that had adored her, mourned her, and recognized too late the price she had paid for their entertainment. Judy Garland's story is one of brilliance and heartbreak, a dazzling light extinguished far too soon. She remains both a symbol of Hollywood's golden age and its darkest truths. Her voice still soars, timeless and full of emotion, but her life stands as a powerful warning, a reminder of what happens when the dream factory turns its brightest star into a casualty of its own creation.